Waters presents On the Box.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of On the Box. It is Friday, May 20th, and according to Harold Camping, something's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes, On the Box this is the last program we're showing.
Well, according to some, and in a little bit, we're going to talk about Harold Camping's prediction of the rapture tomorrow, and I believe he thinks the world is going to end in October. But the rapture is going to take...
rapture tomorrow?
I think, yeah,
Oh.
I think so. Well, he's made so many predictions in the past, it's hard to keep them all straight.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit. And we're also going to ask the question, is President Obama a Christian? Someone asked that question, if he is a Christian.
Yes, having trouble with the mouth today.
Well,
I think you do a great job.
you do?
I wouldn't like to do what you do.
Really?
You do all the hard work.
No,
I just
I
sit there and
don't know.
criticize you when you say Christian.
Chad, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing super good.
Sign up any more people for the July Academy?
Tons of them.
Tons of them.
Yeah, you had to tell me, stop, we got a show to do.
That's right. That's true. That's true. Yeah, we are excited.
Really?
The June Academy is coming up here in less than 2 weeks.
That's in
starting
June, isn't it?
1st, starting in June, June 1st. June 1st through the 4th. And we're
June
working,
is full.
well, Chad's doing
That's
the
probably
heavy
why
lift.
we call it the June Academy.
That's right.
June is full and July is halfway there.
July is halfway there.
We're living on a prayer.
That's right. And we've got only about a week, really, to fill up
Really
the July Academy. So if you're still thinking about coming to the July Academy, stop thinking about it. Get your application in. It's 3.5 days of fun in the sun.
There's the cop coming out.
There you go.
All right.
So apply at ambassadorsalliance.com, please.
Fun in
Go
the
do that.
sun.
Yeah. What's that?
Fun in the sun.
Fun
Come
in the
to
sun.
California.
That's right. No, we'll tell them about all the hard stuff once they
Yeah,
get here.
3 days you'll never forget.
3 days you will never forget.
Well,
It will
that's what
change your
you're
life.
seeing the promos from the Academy. Like that guy's like, you're full of it.
Yeah, that's right.
In the
That was
beginning
all
when Tony's
Academy
up there on
footage.
the box and
Yeah, and then
the
yesterday's
action happens.
Yesterday's clip with Marcus Pittman, that was a classic moment from the Academy out there
I
at
didn't
3rd
see
Street,
that.
Santa
He got
Monica.
surrounded by...
He got surrounded by his friends.
Oh.
Yeah, one guy thought he was going to assault our good friend Marcus Pittman, and there was 10 guys there who said, "Oh, no, you're not," without saying a word.
Wow.
It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Gave me a Deputy Sheriff warm fuzzy all over. I mean, I just loved it, yeah. All right, today's giveaway is The Way of the Master for Kids by Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort. Hardback, well-illustrated document.
Yeah, it's a fun book.
There you go. It's a fun book. We're gonna.
What you can't
well,
ask
for kids.
Yeah, it's for kids.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, you'll love it.
That's right.
It's bananas.
We're going to give away 3 copies of that book today. Email us at onthebox@livingwaters.com. Onthebox@livingwaters.com. Full name, full address, and your zip code. Enter only once today, if you wouldn't mind. And Uncle Dave, are you picking the winners today, or is Uncle Dave? Uncle Dave in chair number 2 is picking the winners today. And we'll be announcing the winners a little later on in the program today. The blog, onthebox.us. Hang with us at onthebox.us. Can we say anything about what we were working on this morning, Ray?
I think so.
Yeah, can we?
Yes. Let the cat.
Dare we say the name?
Let the cat out of the bag.
Let the
Why
cat
don't
out
you,
of the
Ray?
bag,
No, you.
Tony.
Huh?
You got the voice.
Oh.
Hang on a minute. Greg Elsat. Greg
Krause.
Greg Krause. Come and sit down.
Otherwise known as Greg Elsasser.
We want to double our studio audience today. There's a
What is
seat
he buying?
there.
He's buying the Evidence Bible.
Two
There's
copies.
a shameless plug.
Yeah, just jump in.
Yeah.
There we
Any
got-
idea how many of those have gone out of the building?
I have no idea.
No? I know there were 300 or 400 pre-orders,
Yes.
and it looks like
Yes.
the staff has been working hard packing those Bibles. I love that new
Let's
Evidence
cross
Bible.
over to. There they
Yeah, the
are.
foxhole.
Oh, wow, wow.
Here's our open air preaching buddy.
The dream team.
Yeah, Greg's always there on
Look at those teeth. Man.
Look at those pearly
Were those
whites.
professionally done? Are those really yours?
They really are
Look
white.
at those.
It's on the back. It says, "Do not cast before swine."
Wow. Ooh, pearly whites.
All right.
All right, we're a bit out of control now. All right, hey, we're going to first share with you a couple of letters that we got into the ministry, and then later on, a little later on, we are going to tell you about what we were doing this morning, time permitting.
Who was in our studio audience today?
My lovely sister.
It's your daughter. Your daughter. May we
My
remind you?
daughter,
Oh,
who's
boy.
not my sister.
In Christ, she is.
Yes,
Good
Michelle.
save, Ray.
Yeah.
I don't think that's-
Yesterday,
I'm here for you.
Yesterday was the last day of Michelle's college career.
Is that good?
She's graduating this coming week with a Bachelor of Science in what, honey? What do we pay for?
But please don't
What was
call
that?
me honey on the
I wasn't
program.
calling you that. Michelle, what's your degree in? Child development. Child and adolescent.
Adolescent development.
Child and adolescent development. Yes, and
Bachelor of Arts.
Yes, and she's done some of her research here at the ministry, watching all of us act like children. And my daughter Marissa, who's 21, she's also graduating with a bachelor's degree in English with an emphasis on creative writing, and she will be pursuing her master's at San Jose State in library sciences. You have a librarian in your family, your daughter-in-law.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's my sister in Christ.
Yes. Oh, man. Some people are going to get some mileage out of that. All right, anyways, this first letter we got is from Dale Hedman. Dale wrote this. This is just a note of gratitude for how your ministry has changed my life. I was saved 60 years ago, 6-0. And sad to say, my witnessing to the lost has been dismal. My friend had recorded a list of Todd Friel's radio programs. We remember Todd, right?
I remember Todd.
Freakishly Tall Todd. I'm trying to talk too fast. That's the problem. And I'm too excited about what we did
Well,
this
what
morning.
happened this morning?
Yes.
So this morning was a milestone.
It was. And we're going to share with you, if you're good. Todd Friel's radio programs, and during the evenings in our elk hunting camp, we would listen to them. Todd would love to hear that.
Elk?
At an elk hunting camp, they're listening to his sermons.
Oh, very good.
What a better place to do that.
Fair idea.
I especially liked his Wednesday recordings of witnessing to students on college campuses. I started to watch Todd's website, and you're probably wondering, when's this going to get to Living Waters? It's coming soon. And somehow got linked to Living Waters. I was hooked. After watching about half of your witnessing of one-on-one, it finally hit me that it doesn't take a theologian to share the gospel to strangers.
Thank you.
I'm just reading that and realizing that could be funny.
God speaks through donkeys and non-theologians, but it's true.
I don't think that's what he meant.
But it's true.
It is true. It's very, very true.
Would he be watching now?
He could be. Yeah, I think he's a faithful viewer now. You don't have to give in to chasing rabbit trails. I especially like the concept of letting the witnessing to two-person come to the realization that they are lost without you calling them a sinner. For the first time in my life, I am handing out your gospel tracts, and the reception from people is short of being amazing. I only wish I had found this out many years ago. May God continue to bless you and all at your ministry. So after
that's
60 years
wonderful.
of walking with Christ, he is now out there sharing the gospel and
That's
handing
wonderful.
out gospel tracts. Way to go, Dale. Keep it up.
Good work.
And this next one's from Elizabeth Schubert. Elizabeth won the Be Encouraged, Strengthened, and Unafraid, Go and Proclaim the Gospel tagline contest.
Good.
Thank you. You at Living Waters are truly blessing us with God's truth. I continually listen to your program as it keeps me encouraged to keep going. Sometimes you do feel like you're alone out there witnessing. I realize through your ministry there are other soldiers for Christ out there too. Praise God. I continually pray for more believers to be out there fulfilling the Great Commission. I went to a garage sale a couple of weeks ago. When I handed a gospel tract to the person having it, he was very excited. He was a pastor of a church and had gone through your training course.
Oh, heck
yeah. We love to hear that when pastors are doing that. He was so thankful that there was someone other than the leaders of the church sharing the gospel. I go to garage sales every week because I look for collectibles, and I'm able to pass out gospel tracts pretty much all day. Great harvest field. On Mother's Day, we went to the beach with our large gospel tracts and witnessed there. How awesome. Can't wait to see your new Hitler video.
Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I pound on the desk?
He's not supposed to pound on the
Sounded like a
desk.
kitten just patted the desk.
Oh, the
if you
neighbor-
ask me.
Oh!
It sounded like
I'm
a
not
wa-
getting enough attention over there today?
Hey,
Okay.
yeah, talk about it's not-
Tension,
yeah,
tension.
tension. We need a little tension meter come up with a little. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, little.
A neighbor of mine has started watching Your Way of the Master shows on TV and calls me to come watch them with her. It has been an encouragement to her also. I'm blessed to have a neighbor who seeks the truth of God's word. So,
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. That's very encouraging.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right. Harold Camping. Ray, have you been following this?
I don't follow him,
No,
but
well-
I've heard what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
we're going to have
Tony's
to
been following.
at the end of our open air preaching tomorrow at Huntington Beach. We're going to have to say goodbye to everybody.
Well,
It's 6 o'clock, isn't it?
I think
Is that
it's-
Pacific time?
no, it's supposed to be 6.
That's a good question.
6 p.m. Pacific time in every time zone.
Okay.
So
That's
why it would
ridiculous.
take 24 hours for the rapture to occur, I don't know.
But that's everyone's going to go up from starting at New York.
Yeah, I think he's been watching the ball drop in New York
Wait,
City on New Year's Eve
but
too long.
that's-
Tony,
but-
it's not a simultaneous act.
No, but
It is.
It can't
I
be.
believe it
Not
is.
if, but it's not if it's 6 p.m.
No,
in
according to
different time
Harold.
zones. So
No,
that
not
means
according to Harold, no.
Someone's going to call us from New York and say it's true. You've got 3 hours. So we just run around and tell everyone it's happening and get on your TV.
and what do people do? They run or fly ahead of the time change to avoid what's going to happen?
Oh, we could go to New York and get there early.
There you go.
You know, I would love to be wrong about this. I'd love to apologize
Yes.
to him and say, you were right.
Right.
You know, but no man knows the hour nor the day.
Well, he's already been proven to be a false prophet in the past. I mean, he's done this before.
Yeah.
But he seems to be kicking things up a notch now with all these billboards are expensive.
And camping is intense.
That was good.
Just move on.
I like that. Rumor has it, I haven't confirmed this, but since this isn't a news program, we could share rumors. I had heard that camping's radio station, Family, I think it's, familyradio.com, something like that. They've renewed their license for the coming year.
They have.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. So that would be kind of interesting if that's true. If you are positive, 100% positive, that the rapture is going to occur tomorrow afternoon at 6 p.m. around the world, why are you renewing your license for another year at your radio station?
Now, here's a question that's thought-provoking. Is this a good thing that's happening or a bad thing? Because I saw it on CNN. It seemed to be stimulating a lot of conversation.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing in the sense that it does that. It stimulates conversation, gives us opportunity to preach the gospel. However, he's a blight on Christianity. He's a false prophet, and unbelievers like to have their aha moments with
and this
professing
gives,
Christians who do things like this.
This gives opportunities for the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme.
Yes.
So Monday we'll expect some aha.
And in fact, that was going on. That was going on in Bible times. 2 Peter, chapter 3, verses 4 to 7. They will say, "Where is the promise of his coming? For ever since the fathers fell asleep, all things are continuing as they were from the beginning of creation. For they deliberately overlooked this fact that the heavens existed long ago, and the earth was formed out of water and through water by the word of God, and that by means of these the world that then existed was deluged with water and perished. But by the same word, the heavens and the earth that now exist are stored up for fire, being kept until the day of judgment and destruction of the ungodly." So there were people then saying, all right, where is he? You're all talking about his return. Where is he? And people like Harold Camping give others an opportunity to mock that. He is going to come back. He is going to return. But no man, no person here on earth knows the day or the hour. We should live with a...
Except for Harold Camping.
Well, he's wrong. But we should live with an attitude of expectation, urgency, go out there and proclaim the gospel to as many people as we can, because we don't know the day or the hour. Chad, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you folks pretty much covered it. I don't want to jump too much into like the speculation of what his motives could possibly be. It's just good for folks to know that this isn't the first time old Harold has done this. He's done it back in 1994, and unfortunately some people have forgotten about that. And hopefully they won't forget this next time around. And he's not the first person to ever name a date and be wrong. There's one thing he has in common with all the people that have ever named dates before. They've all been wrong about it thus far. So, you know, as Ray says, we should be living like Christ is returning tomorrow. But I don't put too much stock into Harold Camping right now on this one.
Yeah. But hey, you know, as Ray said, it is an opportunity to talk to people. In fact, you know, oftentimes since this has come up, when I've been out there open air preaching, or I've been engaging people in one-on-one, handing out tracts, people will take a tract and say, "Oh, do you think the world's going to end on May 21st?" And I said, only a fool would believe that. And, oh, wait, you're not like, and that gets us into a conversation. So
about a month ago, some earnest Christians, young Christians, came up and said, "What do you think about the world ending on May the 21st?" And I said, "That's ridiculous. It's the 22nd. And they took me seriously. And I think Scotty leaned over and said, "He's just kidding."
Yeah.
And they went, "Oh, okay." Some people will believe anything because they don't know the scriptures, deceiving the hearts of the simple.
Right. You know, and some may wonder, well, you guys are mocking this man who claims to be a Christian and setting these dates. Well, he is a false prophet. We actually have biblical precedents for this with Elijah up on Mount Hermon. And we got to go up to Mount Hermon when we were in Israel.
You just digressed. You just digressed.
It was so amazing to be looking over the Valley of Armageddon, the Jezreel Valley. And now, granted, there's a lot of...
I was thinking of buying a bit of land in that area. Yeah, so we can set up a little...
Could get busy.
A little viewing
Could get busy.
place.
But as we're looking over that valley and taking pictures, you could see a military base off in the distance. And two large Israeli choppers come flying in low over Mount Hermon across the valley, and I'm thinking, "Are those the locusts?" Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know if they're helicopters or locusts or what, but it was kind of surreal. But anyways, Elijah on Mount Hermon with the hundreds of prophets of Baal. Okay, bring your God down. Let's go. You know, set this altar on fire. and they danced around and did their kumbaya,
cut themselves,
did all kinds of things, and nothing happened. And so Elijah, to make the point even more clear, had the altar soaked not once, not twice, 3 times with a deluge of water.
It's like some sarcasm, isn't it?
It was
rubbing salt
it
on the
was.
wound.
And then he called upon the Lord, and the Lord consumed the sacrifice on that altar.
And the altar and the water.
And the water as well,
And
yeah.
the dust, probably.
Yeah, and you could read about what happened to the false prophets later on. We're certainly not endorsing
Is that a teaser?
endorsing that now, but no.
We're certainly not endorsing.
No.
Please don't do this at home.
Don't try this at home, yeah. All right, let's go to the mailbag for a little bit, and then we're going to get into the chat room, see if there's any questions there. This first one's from Betty, and we actually tried to answer this a couple of days ago. I don't know if her finger slipped on the keyboard or what, but it didn't come across through the chat room as she meant it. So we'll try again. Her question is, if you are with a Christian who disapproves of handing out tracts in public, is there any reason for you not to do it? In other words, you and I are together, and we'll put you in the position of the person who hates handing out gospel tracts, because we know that's so outlandish and so far from the truth. And I want to hand out tracts. Should I not hand out tracts because I'm with you and you don't like it?
I would, if you didn't, I'm the guy giving out tracts, you guy that doesn't like it, okay, I'll say that.
Oh, we're gonna
I'd say,
switch?
why don't you
Okay.
take a walk? I'm giving out some tracts.
Okay.
Just go over there and look at the lady's shoes.
So it shouldn't stop us.
No.
It shouldn't stop us.
No.
Yeah.
Say, look the other way. I'm going to tell people how they can find everlasting life. If you don't
Right.
like it, hard luck.
Now, you don't want to go out there with the intent of making your friend uncomfortable. Then you're handing out those tracts with the wrong spirit. The purpose of handing out a gospel tract is to see lost people come
That's
to
why you
faith
should
in
go for a
Christ.
walk and look at a lady's shoe store or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Chad, what do you think?
I just reminded of Acts where the disciples said, ought we obey men or God?
There you
decide.
go. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Acts 3 to 5 is a
sprung.
great series of
The whole
chapters.
book's quite good.
It's
Acts 2 is good.
fantastic.
You know, I like Acts 4
The
too.
whole
Acts
scriptures,
7, yeah.
all the Bible.
You know,
Don't forget about
Genesis
Acts
to
9.
Revelation's pretty solid. Yeah, okay.
Good book.
All right, this one came in to the chat room, I think, yesterday. Is President Obama bearing fruit? Is he truly a Christian? What do you think about
Well, I
Ray?
think a good sign if someone advocates the murder of children in the womb,
Took my line. Go ahead.
they're not.
They're
That's
not.
all there is
That's
to it.
right. Absolutely.
They're not. They're just by word of
That's right.
mouth.
That's right. I would say that not only about the president, but anyone who professes the name of Christ. If they in any way support the murder of the unborn, they should examine themselves to see if they are in the faith. I don't care how offended you are by that statement, by the way. I believe it's true. How can you stand by or even support the murder of unborn children and out of the other side of your mouth name the name of Christ? That is to blaspheme God.
Right.
Yeah. Chad, what do you think?
Yeah, good point. I agree with you guys.
There you go. Okay.
Speaking of that,
Yes, sir.
how many programs have we done?
This is number 98. Program 100 will be Tuesday. They want to be watching Tuesday because you have a plan, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have something wonderful happen Tuesday.
Oh, we are?
What is it?
I don't know.
We'll find
Let's
out.
stay tuned.
It's a
It's
teaser.
going to be our 100 show.
That's our teaser.
That's right. We're going to maybe
Something
have a Brad
special.
sighting and a Danny sighting and a Dave sighting and a Daniel sighting. And
Supposed to be
I
some
think it'd be
by the
good.
time we're done with all the sightings, it'll be time to say goodbye and move on to show 101.
So, show 100, it's on Tuesday. It's still not too late to send gifts.
That's right. You want to give the mailing address or the P.O. Box? Okay. Meg Russell from North Carolina asks this. How about when you share a biblical gospel with friends and family and they're offended? You've suggested praying for them and buying gifts for no reason, but do we also apologize? I've been posting Ray's blog on Facebook, and some atheist friends have gotten really offended, you think? I know the gospel is offensive, so how do you handle that? What do you do, Ray?
Well, you don't apologize for the offense of the gospel,
That's
but you
right.
apologize if you offend someone just by your attitude. And I have apologized to family sometimes when they get upset.
I've had
Son,
to.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset. I've said that to people that have been offended by the gospel when I'm sitting next to them on a plane because I'm stuck there for another 2 hours. So if they say, I don't want to talk about this, and you see the veins come up, I say, I'm sorry that, I'll just change the subject.
Yeah.
That's about as far as the apology goes.
Right.
I'm sorry for them.
You also have to remember, Jesus made it clear, our love for family and friends should appear as hatred when compared to our love for Jesus Christ. Chad? Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Romans 1:16, for I'm not ashamed
There
of the
you go.
gospel, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Jesus says, blessed are you when they revile and persecute you. I mean, it's not really persecution at home, but anyone that speaks evil against you falsely for my sake, speaking of himself, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. I mean,
Right.
if you're pulling somebody out of a fire, let's just apply this, to something out on the street. You don't need to apologize to the person you're pulling out of the flames if they say, I don't want to be saved right now. So no apologies, no.
That's right. Absolutely. Chad, you know what? You're probably the best one to answer this one. This came from Brian Lane. I see Ray using a video camera along with a microphone. Can you tell me what kind of camera he uses and where they might be able to purchase something similar? Yeah, know off the top of your head the
Scotty
specs?
would actually be the best to ask on that one. I just know it's a Sony Handycam. And I'm pretty sure the microphones, Scotty builds at least half of it. He does all the wiring himself.
Right.
So Sony Handycam, those are the cameras we use. That's all I could
The
really say on that.
digital.
Yeah, digital. Go with digital nowadays. That's
Absolutely.
and HD if you can, certainly.
They're
And-
not that expensive.
No, not anymore. I mean, the ones, Chad, the ones that we're using now, the small ones, they're about what, $500 or so, or are they a
Add
little more?
300
than
to that.
Okay.
About 900, I think.
Oh,
the
really?
ones we
Okay.
But they're-
All right, but you can't get them for around $500.
And they're broadcast quality and they're idiot proof. Seriously, I can't believe some of the shots I bump and it doesn't even get noticed.
Yeah, the ones we were using too have a stabilizer.
Yeah.
So if your hand's shaking, it stabilizes the picture.
Have you ever had, I have it that, when your hands start shaking when you're filming and you can't stop your hand shaking, it's a horrible feeling. Because I've only got 2 hands
Ah.
and you can't stop your hand shaking, especially when it's a good interview. But let's just carry on with something else because that's ridiculous.
Oh, you want to make sure that the camera too, if you can, if you're planning on using an external mic, make sure that it has a jack for a 1/8 inch plug for a.
And
For a microphone.
if you're filming in the sunlight, be careful you don't turn the camera off when you think you're turning it on, which I did once and missed the most incredible
Oh
interview.
yeah.
So
Hate when
just
that
be careful.
happens. But that's operator error. That has nothing to do with the camera, right? I mean, I've done that too. So. All right, Chad, anything going on in the chat room?
Yes, any tips that you can give for witnessing to Catholics?
Catholics, okay.
Yeah, totally ignore the fact they're a Catholic. I go deaf when someone says I'm a Roman Catholic because I used to panic and think, uh-oh, papal infallibility, transubstantiation, Mariology, all this stuff, I got to deal with it. No, you don't have to deal with it. Just talk to them as though they're a human being that's got no religious affiliation whatsoever and don't feel intimidated. And
Right.
if someone's, literally hundreds of times, I guess hundreds of times, I don't think it's an exaggeration, when someone says, I'll go to purgatory, I say to them, there's no such place as purgatory. It's not in the Bible. And I expect an argument, and they go,
Oh. Yeah.
And you
yeah,
think,
really. That's what
"Duh."
they say. Oh.
yeah, so
Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
it's quite amazing.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with the issues that are immediately going to bring up walls. Just like Ray said, if you start talking about the Pope, if you start talking about marrying a piece of toast, you're going to lose them.
Sounds good.
They're going to think you're disrespecting them and their faith, and just go right to the law.
For those who don't know what you mean by a piece of toast, could you explain that?
Apparitions.
Was it sold for $13,000 or something like
I don't
that?
know if they
It was a piece
sold
of toast
them.
that looked like Mary.
There was there was one that actually happened not far from where I live. Not that it actually happened, but there were those who believed that Mary was appearing in a bathroom window at this house in the San Fernando Valley, and they were
Inside
right
or
across-
outside?
Well, here's the thing. They actually let people come in the house. And
did?
they lived right across the street from a couple that attend my Bible study at church on Wednesday night. And said, Tony, there's lines forming that look at Mary in a window. This might be a witnessing opportunity for you. I said, oh, yeah. So I went down there with a camera and a couple people, and sure enough, there was a line forming down the sidewalk. They were doing mass outside in the driveway with this window being the altar. And the people were very, very friendly. And so I walked in the house, and they let us walk into the bathroom.
With her in there?
What do you mean with her in there?
Mary.
Well, her, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And there's this big floodlight inside the bathroom shining on the window, and it's casting a shadow on the window. And
What was causing the shadow? Piece of toast.
no, just something in the glass or
Okay.
something like that. So, yeah. So, but when I went
So
down
there,
there,
you could set up in your bathroom window a Mary on your window and have a crowd of Catholics outside you can preach to.
so I didn't say anything about the apparition. I just took people through the good person test. That was there. Didn't get into their religion, didn't make fun of the apparition, didn't do anything like that. I had a whole lot of people who were being idolatrous and worshiping, an image, and it was a great opportunity to share the gospel with them. So
where's the footage?
Oh, that was that might have been before I was
Digital.
down here.
Before digital.
Way before digital. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great,
Yeah, I'm
Tony.
tapping on the desk again. Denny doesn't like that when I tap on the desk. Kind of annoying. Hey, do we have winners for
Not
today?
that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of.
Here it comes.
So
Here
while
it
the winners
comes.
are on their way, maybe I'll talk a little bit about
Yeah, sure. Go
Catholicism.
ahead.
It's been my experience that most Catholics that I come across on the street are what I would call nominal Catholics. They're really not familiar with these weighty doctrines. So if you try and have a conversation with them about the doctrine of transubstantiation and how Jesus actually enters the bread on the monstrous, they're really not going to have any idea what you're talking about.
That's true.
So like Ray says, just ignore the fact that they're Catholic. Or if you do come across a Catholic that is familiar with, we're not saved just by grace through faith, they think that it's works, then make sure you're aware of James chapter 2. They'll immediately say, faith without works is dead, and they'll make that their hill to fight on. You just have to understand that that's interpreted in the light of, works are an expression of the faith that is in us, and become familiar. It has to be interpreted in light of all the other scripture that clearly states that faith, we're righteous in the faith that we have, Romans 5:1, Ephesians 2:8 and 9, by grace through faith you're saved, not of works, and there's plethora of more of them out there. Okay,
Yeah.
so the winners, Dorothy Boyett from Texas, Linda Smith from Florida, and Chris Mullins from Kansas.
All right, 3 of you are going to receive a copy of The Way of the Master for Kids, hardback edition. Beautiful book.
Full
Kids
color?
will love full color.
Teaches them about atheism, evolution, and
Yeah.
how to prove God's existence.
All right. Okay. Hey, I think we have time for at least one more question out of the chat room, Chad.
All right. I'll set it up, you knock it down. Have any of the Way of the Master staff or Living Waters team ever been arrested for preaching the gospel in the United States?
Chad, we got about a minute and 10
I said I'll
seconds.
set
Why
it
don't
up,
you
you
start that
knock
one?
it down.
Now, come on.
Have
Now,
at it,
you got a
Tony.
little history.
No, I've never been arrested.
Well, you've been detained and handcuffed.
There
I mean,
you
that's
go.
pretty close,
You
right?
tell that story.
And so have you, Tony.
During the May Academy last year.
Just come to our academy.
Yeah, come to our academy, and you too can wear the shiny bracelets for free. We were out on Hollywood Boulevard, and one of our participants was being cited for using amplification. Chad and I responded to the location and tried to reason with the officers. Chad was holding a video camera, and they handcuffed and cited him for using amplification while he was only holding a camera. And I opened my Bible and read aloud on a public sidewalk from John chapter 3, and they cited me for using amplification, and neither one of us were. 7 of us in total were cited. 7 of us never went to court. They were all kicked out by the judge, and we are presently looking into a civil rights violation lawsuit against the fair city of Los Angeles.
Tony,
Yes, sir.
you are an amplifier.
I am an amplifier.
Yeah, you-
Michelle's laughing.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we are about out of time. We want to thank you for joining us today.
Hope to
you
be
have a
here
good-
on Monday.
We hope to be here on Monday. We're planning on it while anticipating that the Lord can return this weekend, and we hope He does. We hope He does. We just know that Harold is wrong.
He's out camping.
Harold camping is wrong. So, but it's going to be a great weekend to share the gospel, just like every other weekend is. So go out there and share your faith. Until Monday morning, show 99 on the eve of show 100, which will be Tuesday. Have a great weekend and be encouraged, strengthened, and unafraid. Wow.
Oh, great. He's hanging.
Bye-bye. You're full of it.
Living Waters presents On the Box.